Local. It's such a hot word in travel, no? Local food, local spots, live like a local. But how do the locals live? What are their stories? What's their life really like? It took a day in the beautiful village of Aldona for me to actually experience local Goan culture and everything about it. The stories, the colors, the people, the food left me wanting more.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Peppy and I'm still exploring Goa, and I really hope you've enjoyed the series of videos so far because they've been so much fun to experience and create for myself that I'm really hoping that you've been able to experience some of what I have been experiencing over here in Goa a little differently. I'm in Aldona today. I'm exploring one of the most beautiful villages in Goa, possibly even in all of India. And there is so much of history and culture involved over here that again it is a super eye-opening experience for me. And I'm really looking forward to this. This trail has been curated for me by Soul Traveling, and I've been doing a few trails with them if you've noticed. So today's going to be all about Aldona. We're going to be going around this village. We're going to be seeing different kinds of architecture, maybe even grab some food on the way. So join me. So that's Daryl. He's from Soul Traveling and he is the ambassador on this trail. He's taking me around Aldona today. I've arrived at the St. Thomas Church of Aldona, also known as the Santomesia Igreja Church e Aldona. I think I got that right. It's a Portuguese name and it's a little difficult to pronounce. There are a lot of Portuguese names here because of the obvious Portuguese influence. So this is a beautiful, beautiful church. You can look at that, right? It's 424 years old, which makes it pretty old. And it was here before the Portuguese influence came in. So when the second apostle of Jesus came down, he's the one who introduced Christianity over here in Goa, and this church is built around that influence and not Portuguese. There are some interesting facts about this one. So if you can see that behind me, right across from there, there's an island called Bicholi, where, okay, so this is a little dark, okay. There were thieves who decided to cross the river, come to the church, and try to rob it. But the locals found out about this and they slaughtered all the thieves, and the ones that were left jumped into the river and eventually died. So this is actually celebrated here as Choranche Divas, Choranche Festival. Yeah, there's a feast for this, and it's a little dark, but it is celebrated because the church could preserve itself and not get robbed. And apparently where I'm standing right now is where their bodies were buried. So but I mean, there have been renovations after that, so I don't really know how to feel about that. It's pretty interesting. There's a lot of really cool history and facts over here, and I'm tripping, quite honestly.
The inside of the church has biblical murals and paintings on the walls. The cemetery is beautiful too, all done in white with elegant architecture on the facade. The words Ais Maka Falia Tuka mean today, it's me. Tomorrow, it's you. Morbid, but also accurate, don't you think? There's history and culture spread all over Aldona, and it was time to head to another landmark here.
Now I've arrived at Corgie Fort. I'm really having a hard time pronouncing these names. This is a local name, Corgie Fort. And this one is an inland fort as opposed to most of the other forts in Goa, which are usually along the coast and overlooking the sea. This one overlooks the river. And Bicholi is on the other side. This also is kind of marking the end of the land that the Portuguese kind of had control over.
This fort was originally built for the Desais from Sankali, a village in Goa. It was traded out to the Bosleys from Savantwadi, and then when the Portuguese came down, they rebuilt it what it is right now.
Okay.
So what's interesting about it is if you look at it from above, you notice that it has a very interesting shape. So all the corners, all the four, corners you could say, they have a arrowhead shape to them.
Corgie fort used to be a Portuguese military stronghold. Horses would drag carriages and cannons up the slopes on each corner to protect the place from invaders. There's a chapel dedicated to Saint Anthony here, and it's said that if you pray for something that you've lost, it'll find its way back to you.
Forts always have a super interesting history, and I think what I liked about this one more is that it's an inland one, which makes it so different. And I love how there's a story behind each one. This one's quite empty right now, and I don't think it's frequented by a lot of people, so you might want to also check it out because it's something a little different. I'm at an area called Manos. Teen means 3 and Manos means sluice gates. So these sluice gates over here were made to regulate the flow of water over here so that it could be useful in agriculture. There's also an embankment on the other side, and this is exactly what separates the lake from the river, and it has contributed to a lot of agriculture and cultivation in this part of Goa.
Near every sluice gate in Goa, you'll find a temple. This is because this area contributes to the livelihood of the Goans living here, and a little bit of protection and blessings always helps, right? The next stop on the tour actually had me really excited. We were going to explore a traditional house in the village. This is the Condilak house where the Condilak family has been living for decades. And today, I was gonna see a traditional home. The tour began with a visit to their farm, which is massive.
I'm walking in a farm. That's corn. Next to me, these are banana trees. So we're basically visiting the house of a local family. It's called the Condilak house, the Condilak family. And we'll be headed to their house later, but right now I'm in their farm. And apparently this entire place started off as a hobby, like with a very small patch of land. And now it stretches to over an acre. So that's how massive it has become. And they have so many different types of plants and food, like they're basically growing their own food. And it is crazy. Like I'm walking and it doesn't seem to be ending. It's insane.
There were so many different kinds of plants here. Lemon, soursop, banana, caraway, bay leaf and cinnamon. They are growing so much of their own food. I found a favorite in the bimli fruit.
Oh my god, I love it! It's sour, but it's so refreshing. Oh my god, this is so good.
There was even a new area that started cultivation on. Maybe I'd be back to see it next time, but for now, we were headed to the house, where Mr. Vincent was waiting to welcome us.
Can I shoot you, uncle?
Okay. And my wife will file a suit against you to shoot me. And she'll be quite happy. One less.
He has chickens. He has rescued turtles. And when you enter the house...
Yeah. No, you want to lick me, no?
Oh my god. Oh my god. This
This is. I can't believe this is a house.
It's like traveling back in time 400 years. The walls, the furniture, the finishes, they are all the original work that was done 400 years back and are still being preserved.
So this is the first floor level of the house, but because this whole place is built on a slope, what happens by the time we get to the other side is this. We're on the second floor now.
Oh yeah, that's 41 years of my life.
Uncle's life. Oh, auntie's also.
There's a whole collection of items here that practically makes for a museum. Old vinyl records,
How many of these do you have?
Plenty in that cupboard also.
books, seashells from different parts of the world, stuff that's been taken from a ship, and my favorite, these vintage cameras.
This is basically a relic of the past that Mr. Vincent found over here in his house. So this was during the times when the revolutionaries of Goa, when the Portuguese used to come, they used to do house-to-house searches for firearms and stuff. They used to hide it, they used to bury their weapons, they used to hide it in their houses in places hard to find. So this is obviously rusted through and through, but this is just a relic of the past.
The collection here is quite incredible, and you'll really have to see it to truly understand what all is there over here.
This has been surreal. Like, your house is beautiful. Your stories of everything that are here are incredible. Your dogs are lovely. I love them so much. I'm definitely gonna come back. Thank you
Do.
so much. I will, yeah.
All you have to do is give.
Daryl's the guy.
There's something to be said about the warmth of people and the way they welcome you into their homes. It's one of my favorite things about travel. Speaking of which,
Just for recording. So we're at the last stop of the day, which is another local Goan house where we're going to be trying some local snacks, and there's going to be a wine tasting as well, which is probably one of my favorite things in the world. So I'm going to try it out and tell you how it is.
Very beautiful lady.
this is Jenny Auntie, and she had prepared a lot of food for us. A plate full of bhajias and samosas, nevri, which is a sweet filled with mava, coconut pancakes filled with jaggery, some bimli and some jaggery, inaka, which is a sweet made with coconut, rice and jaggery, and the famous bebinka, which is a traditional layer cake.
Can I cut some of these? Yeah. That's okay, I can cut.
After you eat half, you want to finish half.
Then I take seconds. Aren't any of you eating? I feel like you're the only one.
Not hard, yeah.
It's just so good.
This
is so delicious.
I told you don't take half.
Yeah, do that.
Like half, take another half.
I will. I'll take seconds.
Jenny Auntie also brews her own wines in all of these crazy fruit flavors, and I was going to try them all.
It's spicy, like it's burning my throat out.
It's spicy ginger wine.
Ginger wine.
Which one is this? Star fruit.
Ah, okay.
This is yummy. So then you can just keep drinking it. You need to drink a wine. How likely am I to get Korea day. Oh, okay. Daryl is like. Oh wow, that's quite strong.
Hence,
The starfruit wine was definitely my favorite, and the evening passed in a haze of food, fun, and chatter. And before I even knew it was time to leave.
I had some amazing food over here. The wines were excellent too. I have Jenny auntie to thank for those wines. She brews them over here. Thank you so much.
Well, this was unexpected. But honestly, even this torrential rain couldn't dampen the beautiful day that I had spent in Aldona. There was so much to see here, there was so much to do, learn, and eat that I could not believe that in all of my visits to Goa, I had never seen this before. Ah, well, what's life without a few secrets, huh? Oh, and there's more! My next video is gonna be a bit of a surprise too. Stay tuned! I really hope you're enjoying this series and I can't wait to show you more. For now, this is Preeti signing off. Bye bye.